Hi everybody, it's Miss Rhonda and I want to read you the story called The Mitten. Before I do, we're going to invite Samantha, Story Mouse, to join us, and there she is. And she's saying, oh, please be quiet because I have teeny tiny ears. Oh, of course, Samantha, we will. And here's a story called The Mitten, and it's written by Jan Brett. And Jan, when she was your age, loved to draw. And when she got older, she learned to read. And then she thought, I want to write children's stories. So maybe someday your stories will be read in a preschool classroom as well. It's exciting. So the story is about a boy named Nicky who wanted white mittens. And his grandma kept thinking, I don't think white is a good color for a mitten because you're going to get lost in the snow, just like this mitten would be on my white jacket. So it's hard to see. So, but Nicky said he really wanted it. And so Grandma, they called her Baba, she said, okay, I'll make you mittens. When you go in white, when you go out to play, you need to be careful and not lose it. And when you come in, I'm going to make sure that you're safe. And then I'm going to make sure that you have your mittens. Well, Nicky wasn't playing outside very long before he did lose one of those white mittens. And when he lost that mitten, a little mole was nearby and thought, that seems a little bit warm in that mitten. And I want to warm up. So the mole jumps in the mitten. And then a rabbit decides to hop by, hoppity hop, and jumps in to the mitten. Well, the mole is not going to complain about the rabbit being in there because the mole sees that the rabbit has strong legs like kickers. And so the mole is not going to complain that there's a rabbit stealing some of the mitten space. And so they stay in there and they're friends. And then the next thing that comes along is a hedgehog. A hedgehog is sniffing around, trying to get something to eat under the leaves, sees the mitten and says, oh, I can be comfy cozy. And you know the hedgehog has all those spines on it. So Rabbit's not going to complain. Rabbit's just going to move over and say, all right, we'll give you some room. Next came the owl. And the owl saw all the commotion in that mitten. And so the owl swoops down and decides, ooh, I'm going to go in there too. And you know that the hedgehog is not going to complain about the owl because the hedgehog sees those sharp talons on the owl. And just when the mitten was getting full, a hedgehog peeps up, or badger peeps up through the snow and looks over and sees what's going on, and the badger gets in too. But the owl's not going to complain about that badger because the owl sees those strong digger feet on the badger. And so they all make room. And next comes the fox. And the fox is over there and sees steam coming up around the glove from all the animals breathing and getting warm and wants to check it out, sniffing around. And the fox says, I'm getting in there too. But you know what? The badger's not going to complain about that fox because everybody sees the fox's big teeth. And next comes a bear. A big bear sees it. And the bear goes over and says, what's going on over here? So the bear says, what is that big thing laying in the snow? And he sees it and he gets in, but he can't get the whole way in. So his nose sticks out. And then a little mouse, as big as a little acorn, it's so teeny tiny, decides to come in as well. And maybe this little mouse is a friend of Samantha's. And the little mouse can't get in. What's it going to do? So the mitten's too full. So what the little mouse does is sits on the bear's nose. And the bear's going, tickles. Those whiskers are tickling me. Achoo! And when the bear sneezes, everybody falls out of the mitten, and the mitten starts to glide through the air. And that's when Nicky sees it. And he says, oh, that's my glove. I found my glove. And he reaches up and he grabs it and he runs home and he opens the door and he shows it to his grandma, Baba. And grandma's looking at it. And there are no words on this page, but the expression. Grandma's looking at it and wondering, how did this glove get so stretched out? Mystery. Did you like that story? I hope you did. So thanks for listening. Bye-bye.